What's going on, fellas? Today we're going to talk about the 9 fastest ways to make somebody furious. And you might think to yourself, why would we need to examine that? I'm interested in getting better. I'm interested in personal development. And to that, I would say, how could you possibly get better without examining the things that you're trying to avoid? So let's jump right into it. Some caveats, or not really caveats, but some also notes. The goal here is to make people furious, aka livid, irate, downright pissed off, right? That's what we're looking for. Important notes, the difference between annoying somebody and making them furious. There's a lot of ways to really annoy people, but the goal here is pretty much just straight anger or wrath. We want to make them very angry. So we're examining ways to get them from 0 to 100 on their emotions of anger as fast as possible. So we're going to be evaluating these things with the 2 E's, the 2 E's being efficacy. Efficacy is how effective is each individual action, or the biggest impact per action that you take against somebody. And then the second E is efficiency. We want to do the least number of actions required for them to achieve true wrath, right? So the equation for this would be efficacy times efficiency equals pissed off. Pretty simple. Also, I'm not responsible for what you do. This is for science. We just need to note that before we jump into this. So the first one is to shove them. This is probably not a surprise, but it rings true. Nobody ever expects you to get physical with them. And this is also especially effective on strangers because they don't know what you're going to do. You could shove your friend. They'll probably be annoyed. They'll be like, why did you do that? But a stranger, they don't know. Is this about to turn into a fight? Are you going to rob me? Do I need to pull out a gun? This is super effective on strangers. Number 2, discredit them or discredit their experiences. Say things like, you wouldn't know anything about that, or you haven't really been through difficult times, or you've lived an easy life. Nothing makes somebody more angry than telling them they have not experienced hardship. That's a quote from somewhere. I don't know where it's from, but it's true, right? If you really belittle somebody's experiences and their life, that's true wrath, and that's going to happen very quickly. Number 3 is to try and snatch their phone. And I really think you don't even need to be successful. You don't need to get it from them. Just try multiple times. Try to grab it out of their hand, like 2 or 3 times in a row. People are going to get really upset. People panic over their phones. Imagine you losing your wallet or your keys. You're upset. You're not happy about it. You're looking around for those things very quickly. But if you lose your phone, people are panicked. People are unsettled to their core. They're really upset. So imagine you trying to steal it from them. Their phone is almost like an extension of their body. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying we all live in this world and we observe human behavior. Number 4 is to disrespect their car. Key their car, slam the doors way too hard, spill a drink all over the inside. That's really going to make somebody super upset, super angry quickly. We're sort of skipping, I'm annoyed that you're doing it, and they're like, what are you doing? Right? Super effective. Number 5, and this is a strategic one. Tell their kid that Santa Claus isn't real. This is super effective on certain people, but you do need to use strategy when you're deploying this tactic. Some people don't really care about Santa Claus. That's not a big part of their Christmas experience with their child, but other people, this is World War III. So just be smart, be selective. Maybe you do a little vetting of a person, figure out who you're dealing with, and then, you hear them dropping hints to their kids like, oh, is that what you want from Santa Claus? Then you'll know this is going to work. Number 6 is to ask to borrow somebody's phone and then take it to another room. So the key here is to immediately take it to another room. And also do not elaborate. Don't say I need to make a call, I need to look something up, I'm trying to text. Just say, can I borrow your phone? And if they give it to you, go to another room right away. They're going to try to follow you, they're going to try to stop you. Don't say anything, just go. That's going to make somebody really upset. It's closely related to one of the earlier ones that I talked about, trying to snatch it from their phone, or snatch their phone from their hand. Number 7 is to ask somebody's opinion about something important or meaningful and then say, no, that's wrong. And be adamant about it. Be sure that they are wrong. And I really think the key, well, I should mention that I saw this from somebody online, and I think they nailed it when they said this. I read that and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. But I think the key, and if we could elaborate on why it's so effective, is you need to ask somebody a question that requires them to share a personal story or an experience. And then when you tell them, no, that's wrong, you did the wrong thing, you're essentially telling them that they did the wrong thing in that moment, that they handled a situation wrong. You might even be implying that they're bad or their decisions or choices are bad. Super effective. Number 8 is when somebody's going through a hard time related to something trivial that you went through. So some examples would be if somebody's going through a divorce related to a middle school breakup that you went through. If somebody's going through bankruptcy related to when you lost some money on crypto. If somebody is going through a serious injury, they tore their ACL, or an illness diagnosis. Related to like a minor allergy that you go through, claim that you get headaches if you smell too much gasoline or that grass makes you itchy. Number 9, and the last one, is to be too rough with people's pets. If you're holding their cat, just drop it, right? If they have a dog, yell, bad, no, at their dog for no reason at all. Their dog's being sweet, it's laying on the ground, bad dog. This is super effective on people who call themselves cat or dog moms. So we made it through the list. I have a couple honorable mentions. Really the only reason I'm excluding these is because they need some time to build up. But at the right moment, when the person has reached a critical point, these are super effective. Say things like, you always do this over and over to somebody, especially if it's like a husband, a wife, a parent, somebody that's you're related to, a close family member, very effective. Another one would be in a conversation with a friend and a few other people. Say something like, he's not usually like this. If you do that enough times, it's really going to get under their skin and a volcano is going to erupt. Then lastly, when an acquaintance buys a meal, say, can we share that? The key here, I think, is that it's an acquaintance. Both a stranger and a friend are going to have much less trouble just telling you no, stop being weird, don't ask me that, why didn't you buy your own meal? But an acquaintance is going to be really uncomfortable. They don't know you well enough or not well enough to be super honest and call you out for it. So you're sort of putting them in a really uncomfortable situation over and over again. Can we share that? Eventually they're going to erupt. Well, that's the video, and use these things wisely or don't use them if you're interested in personal development.